guys, welcome back to the channel. How are you? I thought I would share with you some new dyes I've been playing with and really liking. So these are the Buttercups from the Fresh Pick collection that released probably the day that you see this video. It feels to me very much like the spiritual successor to the Be Bold Blooms, which I know I've been using for a while, but as you can see, like this, it has this sort of one main flower, and then it has all sorts of other stuff that comes with it. Um, I still need to get that onto one of these magnetic sheets. But this set is very much modeled on this one main flower. As you can see, this is the main flower from Be Bold Blooms, and then these are the flowers from the Buttercups. And if you assemble the buttercups together, you basically get a full size 5x7 panel. I'm going to be making an A2 today, and I'll show you one of the other cards I made. But these are relatively easy to put together. Essentially, you have the leaf layer, and then there's these handy dandy little blue spots that shows you where you should connect up the flowers. And unlike the original die set, we get enough flowers to do all the flowers in one go, which is pretty cool. So you have your sort of front facing flowers and then the ones that are more like the buds from the side. To go on top of them, I will show you this in a second, but you have sort of a base layer and then a top layer. So you sort of makes I don't know, an illusion of stamen, I guess. So let's take a look at how these go together. I pulled I pulled some springy yellow to start with, but I really liked in some of the marking material for this die set how Spellbinders used sort of these golden and blue colors. So I pulled the gold for these flowers. This is a pearlescent cardstock, and I just love how I don't know if it's coming through on camera, but they're really deep embossed lines. And there is a coordinating die set, which is what this hello is from. I like it particularly because it has hi and hello and smile and thanks and just a lot of generic sentiments, which are the ones I find myself always using. And as you guys know, I like making sort of generic cards and then sort of customizing them for the specific thing that we do. But what you can do is I used a little blue scrap and then a little bit of yellow, and I think it's easier to tell on the big flower. So you have sort of the blue coming through the holes, and this is 2 layers deep. So it adds a lot of layers to this. Um, and you could certainly build up these flowers too if you wanted them to be more of a three-dimensional element. Let me just grab a card base. Actually, I've been in kind of a spring mood, so I think I'm gonna go with something more in sort of a well, we could do a couple things. Like a pink would be certainly nice. I think I'm gonna see how I feel about maybe a nice blue would be a nice compliment. This is sort of a teal leaning blue, but I think it will work well. And I really like these card bases, but I think this will, yeah, I do like how these go together. Anyway, I think we'll use that as a card base. And I guess while I am putting this together initially, I'll say that this is part of a hop with some of my other Spellbinders friends. So you can click on the hashtag, which is in the description, or if for some reason that's not showing you anything, there should be a full hop list in the description box, etc. Very much like most of my other hops. This is something I've started doing recently, which is using dry adhesive on the first layer of most of my cards if I'm not using a pretty beefy card base, just because I think that definitely helps with the cards warping if you have basically. So now we have this layer of paper that will kind of protect that. And I was sort of dry fitting this easier. I really like hello if it's kind of at an angle, I found. And then I'm just going to sort of arrange these. There's really no like right or wrong way to do this, but I always kind of like this was sort of what I was thinking when I was mapping it out, and I really like this. It looks a lot of I like the sort of the movement of the hello, and if you wanted to, you could die cut this out to sort of pop it up to do a couple layers under it. But I think that I will just start gluing this stuff down. And this is the original card I made with this die set. And this was really motivated by the actual packaging of this die set has, like, a navy and dark green and, like, golden color scheme, but I made a couple cards where I really liked the look of, pastels against navy, so I did another one like that, so I really like how this comes out. The one sort of tricky bit here is that you do have some fairly thin stems. I was surprised, I had no issues cutting anything out, but, once they're cut out, you have to be somewhat careful with them so that they don't, get bent or torn or anything of that nature. And the nice thing about these kind of flowers is, I just took maybe half an hour and I just cut a bunch of copies of the flower because where I don't know that, like, I will probably use the flower more than I use the other things because that's typically how I use floral die sets. I think these make great accent pieces and they're just nice. They're just really nice. I mean, like, sort of a general flower, I think, is just pretty handy. The collection also has some really cool I almost feel like these are almost sort of Art Deco inspired. I think these would be really neat with vintage paper too. Obviously, we're doing a little bit more of a straightforward card today, but I feel like this would be really neat if you had any sort of like 20s or 30s kind of paper, or not from that time, obviously, but inspired by that. And I'm not just saying that because that was my plan for Valentine's Day all along. Anywho, just gonna I don't really need to get glue everywhere. I'm just sort of trying to hit the important parts. And I'm just gonna put this here. And the nice thing about using all this matte cardstock is even if you get little glue smudgies, they're going to all disappear. And look how fun and festive this is. Like this just is like sort of to me like the quintessential spring card where you can see everything coming out. I don't know. I really I feel like the buttercups are definitely the most versatile flower in the collection, but I really want to go back and get the daffodils because they have a very stylized look as well. So I think they would be a fun one to use as an accent piece on pretty much any card. So thanks for checking this out. And as always, I will see you in the next video.